Okay, Jay, Christmas time, always busy and hectic for footballers. Uh, with regard to a lot of the things that are being said about the schedule being a bit too hectic, and I know that they're talking a lot about Premier League footballers, but still it's the same, for all the guys who are playing professional football. Do you think maybe, even though it's become a tradition of ours for a long time, that it's time for a bit of a rethink, or are you a traditionalist?
You know what, mate? To be honest with you, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. To be honest, I think it'd be a completely different Christmas feel if there wasn't football going on. If you know what I mean. For me, you obviously look forward to the Christmas period and the Boxing Day, and in a lot of seasons, it's people can collect a lot of points and change their season, or lose a lot of points and change their season. So, I think for me, looking over back on my career, I think I enjoy the Christmas period. It's busy, it's hectic, and do you know what I mean? I don't think. Listen, they're saying obviously they're elite, but we're still in the same boat. We're still having to play. I think it's Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. So you know what I mean. Three games in 6 days. We're very similar. So if it comes, it comes. But to answer your question, I'm a bit old school and don't mind playing over it.
Because still the physical demands, no matter what division you're in, the physical demands of matches close together. And I know the training generally is only, quite a bit of ticking over, and it's not too arduous. But it's still games, and it's still the intensity of them coming quickly together.
It calls a lot on squads, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So especially with the time that we're in as well, if teams are losing players to obviously COVID and obviously testing positive, then obviously that affects the squad as well. So yeah, listen, the training schedule obviously is hectic. It's busy. There's a lot of games, but the games are all full throttle. No, you can't rest in any scenario of a game, but the days in between games are, like you say, very tick overy. They're not a lot of, it's more walking through stuff, and obviously the lads who've played the games maybe getting massages and just recovery and stuff like that. So you're ready to go for the next one. But again, mate, going back to it though, it'd be strange without it, in my opinion.
Is there a special feel to playing games on Boxing Day and the ones after? Because you know the supporters are in the Christmas spirit, and I know for you guys it's a bit difficult because your Christmases are slightly hindered by what you're not able to do. But just the excitement of playing football at that special time of year, and you mentioned before, with the games condensed together, it can really give you, a couple of wins together can give you great impetus.
Well, yeah, listen, and to be honest with you, mate, it's not much different to us. Obviously, Christmas spirit, yeah, you're in a good mood, you're in a good place. You're looking forward to the game. Obviously, everything over Christmas puts everyone in a decent mood and a decent spirit for it. So the atmosphere as well is different. So yeah, it's good all around. But if you look at it though, really in a perspective type of way, we play probably Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday a lot of the week through the season. So for us to change one of them days, probably at our level, isn't particularly massive. It's, you know what I mean, it's another routine week for us, if anything. But the big weeks, because if you go and win 2 or 3 of them games, it can jump you up the position in the league table. If you've seen the league table how tight it is, it can, like I mentioned before, it can be defying, and you can kick you on into the final, obviously going into January as well. So there's always positives, and you'll have people giving it negatives. But again, going back to my own opinion, I think it's a good time, it's a busy time, and something that I'm used to, and I think it'd be strange without.
And great to see Tranmere going into the Christmas programme in terrific form in the league.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, listen, our cup competition ways are out now. They've gone. They went out in not very good style of what we would have liked to have gone out in. But we didn't dwell on it. We didn't let it affect us too much. We concentrated and got back to playing in the league. And yeah, like you say, our league form at the minute is okay. I know obviously we've won a couple on the bounce now, but we don't look back, we look forward, and it's about keeping the momentum going into this busy period. And we've got fixtures that we can go and compete in, ones that we'll give everything for. And if the atmosphere is anything like it was in the last game at home, then we're in for a good game. But we know the teams that we're facing are gonna be difficult, and we've got to give everything we can if we want to come out with some positive results.
How sweet was it, the victory against Leyton Orient, given what had happened in the cup match, and a defeat that was difficult to take, but to turn it round and to come up with a positive result against, let's face it, an informed team. Sometimes it can mean more than just a 1-0 victory. It's what it gives you as players, isn't it?
Yeah, it's payback, if anything. We went down to Leyton Orient and none of us were ourselves. We were a completely different team to what we should have been. It was unacceptable. We held our hand up and said, listen, we've had a bad day all round. But we, again, like I mentioned before, we don't dwell on it. We had to dust ourselves down and say, listen, that wasn't us. We need a reaction from it. And we had a reaction, obviously, going into the Leyton Orient game. It was one where we felt, listen, we owe these one. It was unacceptable how we played against them last time. We know they're a good team. They got some good players. And like you said, they were probably one of the informed teams in the league. So we knew it was going to be a difficult afternoon. But again, we have to concentrate on ourselves, and we implemented what we wanted to do. Solid units, solid pressing, getting in people's faces, winning the ball back high. And we were obviously, I believe, worthy of our win in the end, because we were just solid all round. And it was another good result to keep the run going into the Christmas period.
And not a bad goal to win it.
It wasn't bad, mate. Listen, it's not, you don't see them very often from me, but if I can have a chip in to help the lads get the 3 points, then that's what it's all about. It was one of them. I think it was a moment where it come to me and I thought, well, if you don't shoot, you don't score. One of them, clearly. Luckily for me, it flew in. It happened to be the match-winning goal, but I'd take a 2-yarder or a 20-yarder if the team got the 3 points at the end of the day.
And great to have the momentum now, and you're in a good position in the table. And Mickey always tells us, and he's right, the important part about the table is come the end of the season. But you're in there. You've had 1 or 2 ups and downs this season, but there seems to be a feeling that the message that Mickey's trying to get through to the team and the individuals, and you've had a lot of changes this season. It's beginning to really get through. And not just occasionally, but game in, game out now. Yeah, listen,
he's implementing. You got to remember that the gaffer's come in and he's had 18 or 19 new players added to the 3 or 4 that were here already. So he's had a brand new squad from day one, and he's had to work with. He's had to implement his plans, his way of playing, of what he wants, how he demands, his demands of what he wants for the club, what the lads really need to remember is that when they wear that shirt, what they're representing. And as you say, over the season, to be totally honest with you, I'm not even looking at the league table. I'm giving absolutely no interest to it. Like you said, the end of the season is the big one where we are at the end. So if we're there or thereabouts, then that's what our aim was. But the main thing for us is game by game, and the gaffer's getting his points across now. As you can see, lads are responding to what he wants, what his demands are, and what it takes to wear this shirt and play for this football club.
How pleased are you with the progress that you've seen in the past month, 6 weeks? In terms of the consistency of results, but sometimes more importantly, consistency of performance and producing what the manager wants from you.
Yeah, obviously, it's always good, isn't it? Listen, you want to produce what the gaffer wants straight from the go. We knew it wasn't going to be like straight away. It wasn't going to come and implement straight away with what we had, and we knew we were a new squad. We had to learn what players did, what they were good at, what we needed to help them with, and how we worked as units. Listen, I don't think our problem this year has been defensively keeping the ball out of our net, but obviously scoring in the other end has been something that we've been trying to concentrate on and bring more to. So if we can bring more lads around the team to chip in and score more goals, then that will help us all. But I think as a squad and as a club, I think we're starting to really start to gel together. It's a tight-knit group with the staff as well, and even the staff who are here in the training ground. It's a tight-knit place. We all want the same thing come the end of the season, which is obviously get ourselves promotion. But we're not looking too far ahead. It's the now, and the next game is Barrow, and we've got to concentrate and give everything we can for this club and for the fans going into that game.
Brilliant. That's great for me. Thanks, and have a good Christmas, and hope it all goes well. Game
all the best, mate.
As well. Thanks, Jay.
Jay, just a couple from me, mate. When we were speaking to Mickey the other week, I was talking about, I think it was after the Oldham game, I was talking about how Tranmere were defending well in a good shape, but sometimes they weren't keeping the ball for long enough. They weren't getting the ball, higher up the pitch. And he spoke about it, not necessarily about that being a bad thing when not having the ball, but perhaps decision making in that key moment not being exactly where it needed to be. Is that something that he goes over in training a lot, or has been drilled and may have seen an improvement in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah, because he works tremendously hard on the field and the shape that we are and defensively work and how solid we need to be. But it's also that transition stage, like you mentioned. Obviously, when we win the ball back from our defensive shape and we've worked so hard to get it back, it's about keeping the ball and regaining possession and trying to drive ourselves forward. And as you say, it's took time to implement it. But I think over the last probably 5-6 games, I think you've probably seen that when we do win it back, we're starting to keep it better and get ourselves up the pitch and find better passes because we've got a way of playing and we're sticking to it. And like I say, once, for example, you know what I mean, if Cogs brings it back in a right back position, we all know what our jobs are. We all know where we need to be, what we need to do, and that will have to be driven and drove into our minds of where we were. So whoever comes into this starting 11, whoever it may be, knows the job of what they need to do once we've won the ball back.
Yeah, and there's closing stages on Saturday as well. The team was working really hard, wanting to close the ball down and make sure that they defended what they have. And I did put that to Mickey, and he said like the team's always put that effort in, which I think is true. But is it just the case now, maybe being a bit smarter in what they're doing off the ball?
Yeah, it is. I think it is because obviously, listen, you can run around like a headless chicken if you want, but you won't affect anybody or you won't help the team. So it's about picking our moments and believing that when we feel as if it's right to jump out of our, if we don't feel that we can win the ball, then don't jump out of your slot and leave the rest of the team isolated. So it's about working as units. I think as a team now, we're starting to see partnerships build all around the field. We're starting to see groups come together. And if you can notice probably a little bit more is that we're starting to hunt in packs as well. There's nobody goes alone. If your mate goes, you go and support him, you back him up. And I think you've seen that quite a lot on Saturday, that if someone felt that they were able to win the ball, we all hunt in packs and we go as a team. We don't leave anybody isolated. So it's starting to grow, it's starting to build. And as I say, we're in an okay situation at the minute. I won't give us smoke too much that we're doing okay, but I won't say that we're not doing okay. Do you know what I mean? So there's still a long way to go, still improvements to be made, in my opinion, and probably the Gaff would still say the same, that we could still improve. So it's always good if you're winning games and you can improve.
Yeah, it's a funny old league too, isn't it? Because you can win a few games on the trot and you're right up there, or you can lose a couple and all of a sudden your position has disappeared. But it's I think you've won like 4 or 5 on the trot in the league, and teams don't tend to do that too often in League Two unless they're right at the top end. And just looking ahead, you've got a lot of home games coming up over the next couple of months or so, and that really is an opportunity to build a great deal of consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, because consistency is key. I think it's a massive word in this league, consistency. If you feel as if you're not able to win the game, then don't lose it. I think you can pick up points wherever you are away from home and you dominate your home games. And that's something that we needed to change. I think last season we were okay at home. But with the fans back in now, the atmosphere that they bring to Prenton Park is first class. And it gives the lads a bit of a lift and it gives us that belief that we can go on and cause teams problems. And I think we need to make Prenton Park a fortress if we want to be promoted this season. And then obviously our away form, we did need to pick it up. We've obviously, the last couple of games, we've managed to pick up a few wins away from home. But again, the massive word out of all that for me is consistency. And that's something that we're looking to bring to our game.
Final one from me. I'm looking forward to a big roast dinner tomorrow with all the trimmings, and I might wash it down with a couple of glasses of white wine. But how does Jay Spear enjoy Christmas? And it's obviously a slightly different dynamic. How will it work out?
Listen, it's a little bit different, but I'm used to it by now. Obviously, we're in training in the morning, so nothing changes there. We've got like the training schedule day before a game, so we have to treat it as like any other day. I know it's Christmas Day for some people, but we're still going to be doing our work here in the morning, ready to go out and compete against Barrow on Boxing Day. But the rest of the day is just about spending time with family and just spending time with them, really. We've got a big dinner at my nan's, 25 of us going for lunch, so that'll be a busy and hectic time. But I love it nothing more than spending time with family and having a nice roast dinner. So I'll have the full trimmings as well, but maybe not the dessert.
Well, you can serve that up on Boxing Day at Prenton Park instead.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers. All the best, Jay. Thanks very much.
Thank you, mate. Have a good Christmas, guys.